year, yes, every bit of electricity that we generate comes from our solar arrays. We have 8 of them, and we're generating that electricity and passing it all over the space station for experiments, as well as for just running the space station with all the systems and equipment, and simply lights, too, that we need to function. Well, Marshall, I thought your voice didn't quite sound like Emily's, but determining the accuracy of MRI, really what we're doing is related to the bone health, and how can we do experiments and test people's health in ways that we don't necessarily have access to an MRI. For instance, in very poor countries, they can't just walk into a clinic and get an MRI done. So what are alternative ways, such as we're doing a spinal ultrasound instead of typically that's done with an MRI and these sort of things. So I wouldn't quite put it in the category of determining the accuracy of the MRI. We all know that's very accurate, but it's what I think is important is coming up with alternative ways that are at least not very expensive and very portable, that can reach to all corners of the world, so people can get quality health care no matter where they live. Well, we have a saying that the most important thing you're doing on the space station is what you're doing right at that moment, because any time you can make a small little mistake that can lead to bigger mistakes or equipment breaking or hurting yourself. So the hardest task in space is to stay focused and concentrated throughout the day, even when you think that it's a small little detail, to put your 100% concentration into every small task. The greatest achievement that we've had so far on this particular expedition, which I've been a part of for about a little less than a month now, is that we're getting everything done that the ground is assigning to us and a little bit more. So it makes us feel good that we're keeping up with the workload and able to help the ground team out as they plan forward for the rest of this our time in space. Great question, Brenna. Yes, absolutely. And in fact, my crewmate Tom Marshburn just the other day was doing a spheres experiment and with student software on board. There's a competition that is done annually. I think it was done several months ago when Kevin Ford was up here, and that's all student run. And the spheres experiment is centered out of MIT, just south of you guys down there in Boston. So it's kind of nice to tie that back to New England. In Houston, Emily, we have we have a very big swimming pool. In that swimming pool is a mock-up of the space station, and that's where we're trained for our spacewalk. When I did, exactly like being in. You get a real sense of the. When we're orbiting the Earth every 45 minutes a day, and then 45 minutes a night. We go around the world every 90 minutes. But the training is very, very similar to the cruise. While we've been up here. But one thing that can happen, and has happened before in the past, is a dental pop, for instance, which may sound minor, but if you have a cavity filling fall out, or cavity becomes sensitive, it can really put a lot of pain, and you cannot think